I'm glad Carrie had to follow those young people and not me. Good morning, everybody. I'm Gayle Gorman, and I'm Chief Inspector for Scotland from Education Scotland. I'm so pleased to be here today, and thank you very much to the school for hosting this event. It's wonderful when I get to have a Wednesday morning that starts like that. Though I was thinking that the parent who'd helped with the singing was actually very astute to the age of most of the audience, young people excluded, because actually video killed the radio star may not be something primary threes are that familiar with, but they sang it with great gusto, and I'm sure they asked their parents what a video was, so we were able to do that. I'm really, really pleased to be here to launch today 3 documents, in fact, that we have been super excited about sharing with you and about sharing across Scotland. One of the things you'll see in my kind of badges I've got on here, I saw all the children with the young people, Year of Young People badges, is one of the things I've always been passionate and committed about, similar to Carrie, is the voice and participation of children and young people in their education and their wider sphere of the communities that they live in. So I was an original Unfearty, it's this yellow badge, which is a group who stand up for children's rights, children's voice, and United Nations Children's Rights, Rights of the Child. It's really important that Education Scotland takes its place in the Year of Young People in supporting and developing the participation and the engagement of children and young people who are actually our consumers. These are our stakeholders. Our children and young people are what we get into education for, who we support through our work in education, and very much at the heart of all we do. So it's really important in 2018 that we are working with children and young people, their representatives, and also making sure that they're part of the transformation and the move forward for Education Scotland and at the heart of the evaluation within that. So it's quite hard without, we stand here, so I'll just, have to wing it. We've got 3 documents that we're launching today, and I'm going to go in front of the projector a wee bit. So the first one, knew that would happen, is our learner participation in educational settings, which we're moving to, thanks Carrie. And importantly, our How Good Is Our School resources, which are fundamental to the work that we do as a system to improve outcomes for learners across Scotland. Part 1, the first document here, is really to support schools, teachers, to reflect on what they want to do around school and pupil participation, about how they can engage young people and how we can set up the systems and approaches within schools to really make the right environment for pupil participation and for children to move forward. The second resource is for our children and young people, predominantly, supported in some cases by an adult, to evaluate and work with the teams in schools to think about pupil participation, engagement, the quality of the experiences that they have, and actually how they can shape and influence and feedback their views around that. So these are really core documents, they're guidance, they're support. There are many schools in Scotland who are already carrying out the principles exemplified here, and we were really, really pleased to work with various partners to produce these documents, but fundamentally to work and hear the voice of children and young people and what their thoughts are in terms of moving education forward and reflecting on what they would like to see in their school to improve their learning and their life chances, and that's fundamentally important. The learner participation document, the blue document that I held up first of all, it was developed in partnership with the University of Stirling, and we were really pleased to take that part in that partnership work. And they supported the participation of children and young people to help us really reflect on what should underpin being an effective learner and what that means in Scotland and how we could represent that in a variety of learning contexts across Scotland. It's really important that these are a contribution to securing children's rights across Scotland. There's been lots of activities for the Year of Young People. Absolutely really impressed on some of the activities that have gone on in Fife in terms of making sure that children's rights and children's voices are not something that happens in the Year of Young People and is then forgotten about. and it has a grand showcase. Actually, we need to make sure we're knitting children's rights, children's participation into the structure of our sector of education. And that's why ensuring that we have HGIOURS, and how good is our school? It's a wee shorthand for it. How good is our school? And the emphasis of these documents is our school and the participation of our young people. In fact, back in September 2015, when we launched How Good Is Our School 4, there was a tweet that went out at the time, obviously an early Twitter user, a tweet that went out at the time saying, so if this is how good is our school, where's the hour? Where's the children and young people's participation? So this is our response. We took that back, colleagues reflected on it. We've worked in partnership to get to the publication of these documents today and are very proud of the fact that children and young people have helped shape and have such a strong voice in the improvement agenda in Scotland, and we think we're pretty unique in that, and it's something certainly worth celebrating. The way that we participated in constructing these resources is quite significant. You know, we didn't rush into just producing a children's version that lots of adults had got together and written. We actually worked, as I said, with the University of Stirling. We worked with children and young people's groups and their representatives. And then we went back and tested it with them and see if it actually made sense and it reflected what they had put forward for us. We worked in partnership with local authorities to do that, and a particular thanks to Fife and the schools and the young people that have participated in that, some of whom are represented today. Without that participation, without listening to that active voice from children, we could have got this wrong. We could have actually just put all the things in it that we think children and young people want, and actually that's not what they want. They're very clear about being able to do that. So learner participation at the heart of Scottish education is what we're signposting today. That's one of our key messages. Learner participation is fundamental in a child and young person achieving the success that they want. They have to engage with education, they have to engage as a learner, but actually we should value their views on that and their opinions and their thoughts and help use that to shape the curriculum that we offer and also the opportunities that we offer for children and young people to be able to do that and move forward. It is important that schools create the right culture for these documents to be used. You know, we have to use these documents within a culture that is open, that is participatory, and that respects the views of children and young people and upholds the UNCRC rights of the child. Actually, it was lovely early when I had a quick wander along the corridor to see those exemplified throughout this building here today. So it's with that I want to commend these resources to you, to ask you to work in whatever organisation that you're here today to represent, and many thanks for so many of you travelling so far to be here, and to really disseminate the messages within and make sure that the work you're already doing, already engaging with young people, is underpinned by this fundamental work to engage young people in their own learning and to help them evaluate how good is our school.